Well, the Senate this week confirmed Anthony Blinken as America's 71st Secretary of State. But what do we know about our new top diplomat and the rest of Biden's foreign policy team? Blinken is 58 years old. He worked in the Clinton administration as a principal speechwriter. He also was on the National Security Council, and he then worked for Senator Biden on the Foreign Relations Committee. He's also a Deputy Secretary of State and Deputy National Security Advisor under the Obama administration. Blinken took a shot yesterday as well at former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo during his opening address to the State Department, saying, quote, "I will have your back," implying that Pompeo did not. Now, other members of Biden's foreign policy team all have deep ties to the Obama and Clinton administrations. And joining us now to talk more about this new foreign policy team and give us some analysis on the Biden administration is Ambassador Ric Grenell. Ambassador Grenell, great to see you as always.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. So Biden's foreign policy team, they have a lot of experience, but not all experience is created equal. And the Biden foreign policy team here, obviously a throwback to the Obama doctrine. And you probably remember Atlantic writer Jeffrey Goldberg wrote this about the Obama doctrine, quote, "He's doubling down on his plans of the world where success is plausible and limiting exposure to where it's not. Barack Obama is gambling that he will be judged for the things he didn't do and not the things he did do." It seems like President Biden is maybe making that same bet. And the difference, though, is he has lots of reasons not to make those same bets based on the results of the previous administration before President Trump.
Yeah, I really think this is a very good point, because the Washington establishment, especially the foreign policy establishment, really has this clique. And they don't want anyone from the outside coming in. They want to pretend like they're the only ones who understand these complicated issues. And so for President Biden to go back to the same pool of people who have been waiting in Washington, D.C. since the end of the Obama administration, waiting for their time to come back in. They've literally moved a mile away and will now come back in and start working on the same issues that they failed on. And this is the ways of Washington. The Washington, D.C. reporters, the Washington, D.C. establishment, they all think that they just want comfortable faces. They want people that have been around for a long time who play their game. That's why they hated Donald Trump, because he was from the outside. I mean, I can just tell you the perfect example is the issue of Serbia and Kosovo. When I became special envoy, I was told by the whole establishment that I should go and assemble my team from the people who have been working on the issue for 20 years. And I said, don't you think that if they've been working on the issue for 20 years, they probably have failed? Maybe we should get some new ideas. But that doesn't go over in Washington. That's the outsider mentality that they hate.
Yeah, the definition of insanity for most people is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It's the opposite in Washington. They, expect you to do the same thing over and over again, and have something different happen. It's amazing to see this. Now, let's talk about China and Russia a little bit, starting with China. Trump's hardline approach to China is expected in some ways to continue under Biden out of necessity, and this is credit to the Trump foreign policy team for kind of Biden-proofing the China foreign policy here. Biden's UN ambassador pick, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, said that, quote, "China is a strategic adversary that threatens the world." Secretary Blinken previously criticized Pompeo, but also said Pompeo was right for calling out China's genocide, an important word there, against the Uyghurs. So how do you see this, some of the things carrying over from the Trump administration? Because the Biden administration, at least some people seem to realize this is the right thing to do.
Look, the Democrats for 4 years have been trying to say that Russia is a crisis. And I want to be clear, I think Russia is a problem. But China has been the crisis that they've ignored. And the Beijing line, what China wants politicians in the United States to do is to say, look at Russia, don't look at us.
Right.
And that's exactly what the Democrats have been doing. Eric Swalwell, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein. There are a whole bunch of people that have been pushing this Beijing line. I think that the Biden team fell for it. And the Trump team was successful in pointing out the flaws. I mean, look no further than right before the campaign, we saw 50 former U.S. intelligence officials say that Hunter Biden's laptop was actually Russian disinformation. They did not want us to look deep into the China issue because I think the Bidens are very vulnerable, and the whole Biden team, Jake Sullivan and the new Secretary of State, are all China apologist for many years. So now I think what they're going to have to do is explain why they would roll back the policy on being tough with China.
Yeah.
They can't do it right now. They've got to wait a little while. But make no mistake, they will look to soften the position. They want consensus around the world. And Chancellor Merkel just said the other day that she doesn't want to choose between communist China or the United States. And
it's
that's
not a
outrageous,
choice. I mean,
and
for
it should have
anybody
been
with
called
any
out.
real morals or principles, it's not a choice. When you have genocide happening, we're one day removed from Holocaust Remembrance Day, and we have genocide happening right now in contemporary times. It's really discouraging to hear that from Angela Merkel. Also, you know, when we have a real crisis with Russia right now, they talked about Russia so much, it's hard to get the American public's attention to focus on this. We're out of time, Ambassador Grenell, because we do want to talk, too, about Putin and Alexei Navalny. We'll have to say that for another time, and we'll look forward to our next conversation with you as well. Thanks so much, Ambassador Ric Grenell. We appreciate it.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.